Hey everybody, welcome to my channel for your basically becoming your own VIP, both your mind, body, and soul. And I wanted to kind of go over why I even started this channel. I started a spiritual journey about a year ago, and I didn't even see it coming, to be truthfully honest. I hit a very low, almost rock bottom scenario in my life, and I just was tired. I said to myself, something's wrong and it has to be me. I'm the common denominator, so I can't keep blaming people. As much as I kept continuing to blame people, I realized no, that something is wrong and something is trending around the behaviors that I am doing. And I saw a dream that I had just flow away. And it was because of some of the actions that I had. And obviously it takes two people, but it was a relationship, and it was something that I saw coming to fruition. And when things just kind of blew up, I had to start looking at myself, because what was not fulfilling my dreams? What was stopping me? And so I was smoking, drinking, and I wasn't coping correctly. I was doing unhealthy patterns versus healthy patterns. And when my life blew up, I had to ask questions. And, you know, as we always do, we pray to God for the resolutions, the healing, the answers. And I was crying every night. I was drinking, smoking. It was one of those things. Like, I needed some help. I went to therapy for a little bit, and therapy was good, but it was answering some questions, but it wasn't answering everything. So then I had to delve even deeper. So through my prayers were answered. Totally different way than I expected, but my prayers were answered. Now, some of you may not believe this, but God finally answered me. And I received a vision, like a life review of things in my life that scared me. And truly, if you look at behaviors in our lives, a lot of things that happen is all because of fear, whether that started in childhood and it continued on. The base of almost everything that we do that self-sabotages, that prevents us from going forward in our lives, is due to some type of fear. And so then I had to really ask those questions. Okay, so now I've got this answer. So now how do I heal it, God? And it took me on a whole life review of everything that's happened from my childhood to present day, and how I contributed to that. And where I used to blame my parents, I didn't heal those things that I developed with my parents. I just let those trends continue and think that whoever's going to be in my life is going to love me. Whoever is going to be my coworkers, my community, friends, family, they just should know me. They should know all my disadvantages, my pros, cons, all about me, and just love me and accept me. But the thing is, each and every single one of us is going through those problems. Each and every single one of us is going through our own battles. And how is it that I or anyone else should put the weight of your sorrows and fears onto somebody else to complete you, when they're trying to complete themselves? And what I realize is, it is about completing ourselves. It is about doing everything that you need to do within your journey and within yourself, and heal before you bring somebody else into your life. And I really didn't understand that. I really was thinking that, one, I can bury the feelings and sensations I was having, and quite successfully, to be truthfully honest. But what I didn't realize is that you have triggers that will bring these things up to the surface, no matter how hard you try to bury it. And that's what happens in relationships. And I didn't know. I did not know. And I could honestly say that I did the best I could at the time, which at the level I was, in whatever maturity level you want to say, mentally, physical, emotional, spiritual, as well as financial. And when I had my hit bottom, I realized I did not know a lot of any of those areas in my life at all. You learn as you grow. You observe people. You do all these things, and you just fly by the seat of your pants trying to do a lot of this stuff. And even if you go to college, there are certain things that you won't know until you've had those life experiences. So basically God just woke me up, and he showed me the answers. He showed me how to take accountability for my behaviors, my traits, my patterns, the things I wasn't doing that set myself up for failure, and how I was really dependent on other people in my life, dependent on things, period. And through my journey, I've had to learn to pull away from that, and I've not smoked or drank for a year. So it's been over a year. So it's I haven't smoked or drank for a year. I've been vegetarian. I only eat like occasional dairy, maybe a little bit of egg if it's in something that I really like, but otherwise I've cleaned my whole life up. And that's basically what God was saying, is you need to clean your life up in order to do that. You are your temple. God exists within your heart, and he's trying to show you how to love yourself so that you can love others and be of service and serve your purpose on life. God has worked through me. And the purpose of this channel is to show you how God acts in your life through prayer. Even if you don't even realize it's God acting, he is acting through you. And you do co-create with God, because obviously he's on a spiritual level. He is giving you the tools that you need to heal emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, all these things. But then you have to take and go past your fears, go past your boundaries, go past your resistance, and go forth and make your dream life. And you know how we always thought, losing weight was hard. Changing your life is hard. Changing your behaviors or patterns, those things we never wanted to face. You want to have the stigma of going to therapy. You want to have the stigma of going to church and praising God and all this other stuff. Why is that a challenge to us? Because that's the one thing that's actually going to make our lives better. It's just, it takes work from us, and we're scared to put that effort in, because what if it fails? Again, fear. So my channel is basically to try to show you how God acts in your life through my own personal experience. And I would like for you to use your own intuition, your own guidance within yourself, and what resonates with you, take this information and use it. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't do it. This is experience that happened in my life and how God has blessed me. And so I'm praying that this message gets to everyone's heart, and any other message, obviously I'm not trying to push anything on anybody. I just want to share my story and hope and pray that this helps someone else in their life and their journey. Whether you're a spiritual person, whether you believe in God, whatever, truly God is, it's all these little stories of religion and all that. They're all having one base. It's just been broken up. And we all know that there's different purposes in life and why these things get broken up. But it's still one thing, one source. And it also helps us to be better people. And that's the truth. Whether you look at any religion, what's the whole story? It's about making ourselves better, treat people better, treat ourselves better, to love. So if you take away all the fear, it comes down to what we see everybody trying to do: make relationships that last, make success for us so that we're happy and able to take care of our family, our friends, our loved ones, and just give to people. We don't just smile and hold a door open for somebody just because. We're choosing to do a good deed for somebody because why? We wanted to do something nice for somebody. We're all looking for love. But the thing is, we have to look for love in ourselves first before we depend on someone else. And to be truthfully honest, God gave us core foundations. And if we don't use that right, our structure is going to collapse every time something happens. So we live our lives very reactionary. So now we need to calm down, slow down, love ourselves, breathe, and respond with grace. Respond with compassion, respond with kindness. We can be assertive and set our boundaries, which is what I've learned also, but with kindness. So in this journey, I'm just going to throw out videos like this because, to be truthfully honest, I journal, I do a lot of stuff, and I've kept a lot of information to myself. I might share it to my family, friends, people I meet on the street that God wants me to be of service to. I sure will. And you know what? I'm not ashamed of saying it anymore. It is God. It is God that blesses us on this earth each and every single day. And I'll go into more on that too. And again, with whatever resonates, you take it. If it doesn't resonate, then fine. But no matter what, I trust and believe your life will get better with some of these instructions that I have followed in my life. And it takes courage, it takes bravery, and it takes faith, and it takes patience. All these things I did not have once upon a time. So join me on my journey. Join me on improving your temple, your mind, your body, and your soul. And I just want to thank you for being here right now. But I just want to kind of give a quick story of today. A lot of my healing and what I've learned how to heal was God sends us messages on this earth each and every single day that we never knew were tests. We never knew were obstacles set up in front of us in order to heal and grow ourselves from. Now, we do learn lessons from them, but sometimes we don't learn it right. Sometimes we still blame, sometimes we still vent, sometimes we do whatever, or take revenge on somebody, whatever the situation is, versus taking the little peanut of knowledge that actually is in there as a key to your healing. So one of the things that I learned was the mirror effect, okay? Now, from our parents, we received a mirror effect of what our relationships were, what the world was like, and what to expect, whether through our finances, through spirituality, through relationships, whatever the scenario is, we learned from our parents. So you could take infidelity, you could take abuse, you could take codependency, you could take alcoholism, you could take drinking, you could take all those negatives, right? But then flip it. Then you could take all the positives, to the joy, the laughter, the special events we've shared together as a family, maybe good budgeting, maybe education focus, whatever the scenario is. So there's the good. So now think about the yin and the yang, okay? So energy is positive and negative. So yin and yang. There's so much truth all around us and we didn't even know it. So with that being said, with the yin and the yang, we learn both the yin and the yang from our parents. Now, obviously, we as kids kind of more focus on the negative because of the fact that's kind of the biggest impact. One, because of the fact we were scared, we didn't want to get hurt. So then we do a lot of things to shape ourselves to listen and do what they say so that we don't get in trouble. Or we just learn as they're our first teachers to start doing certain behaviors, whether that's hate, whether that's self-conscious imaging, whether that's irresponsible finances, whatever those negatives are that begin to shape our lives. So fast forward. So there are triggers. And what I found out was any relationship we have, if triggered, and I'll explain what a triggered is going to shoot us back to childhood on our first teachings so that we can actually utilize this and say, well, what was the root cause of this issue? Why am I feeling this way with this person that just triggered me? And how did it relate back to my childhood? Now, what did that mean to me? And now how can I heal it? And then spiritually, once you recognize that, you heal that piece, that one brick that we put up against as a wall against our heart to protect us, it now lowers into a foundation brick, because that foundation is no longer built as a wall. Now we put it down as a foundation because now we've learned from it. One, so it's not repeated. Two, so we share it with others so they don't make the same thing. Or three, so we share compassion and understanding with another person when we see who we once were with our wall up in them. So then we understand they're on their healing. There's things that maybe I can plant a seed right now so that maybe they can go on their healing journey, which is what I'm doing with you today. So here's the situation. I suffered from severe anxiety. Why? Well, because when I was a child, due to certain situations, bad grades, clean house, whatever the scenario is, if it wasn't done appropriately or to the expectations that my parent had, then I would suffer a consequence. And it's something, and a lot of times it was a consequence that was far above than the situation needed. So it brought a trauma to my life. It brought a behavior, a pattern, and a belief in me that if certain things happened, or if I don't do it right, then I'm going to get in trouble. So it builds in a consequence, a concern of punishment, fear, scared type stuff, and builds up the anxiety. So through my journey, God's done a lot to build up my strength, my courage and compassion, so that, and also my healing, so that the anxiety is not present anymore. One, through meditation. Hands down, meditation is key. I learned to breathe, and through meditation, it calms your nervous system so that the nervous system in itself will lower, so your anxiety is not so triggered because you know how to breathe. You know how to calm your mind, because it's your mind that scatters. It's your mind that, and once it's going all in a fear flight mode, it's affecting everything, your body, everything. You just can't control it. And so it calms ADHD. It allows you to focus. It allows you to breathe. It allows you to remain calm and overcome fears a lot more easier. So research meditation. That's what I'm going to ask that you do. And then I'll fill in more as I go, but that's not the point of this video, so I had to say that. So through meditation and then observing people, because it does take mindfulness, and I never knew what mindfulness was until this journey. But to observe, to breathe, remain calm, and listen to what the person is saying. Now, what the person is saying might seem like an attack, but there's two things being revealed. One, a pain that is in you that is being mirrored through them, and that's through energy. And then because God sends us people to mirror back things to us, whether that's good kindness and love, or if negative things that we hide from ourselves that we truly hate within ourselves, or are scared about facing within ourselves. So God sends us ways to see that. Again, negative and positive, our energies reflect back through our partners, our friends and stuff, and situations. Okay, I'll explain more, but I just really want to give you this key point because it happened today. So with that being said, today I've been working on, controlling myself situations, so I'm not so reactive in situations, and then I can see the power within myself, which is building empowerment, being calm, and not so anxiety ridden. And I was dealing with a patient today, and I was trying to explain a scenario, and it triggered the patient, and because the patient was in her own anxiety and trying to find control within themselves in this situation. And when I said something, it made them feel like they lost control. And so then I had to explain it, but they still weren't getting it. So then I'll explain again, and they're still getting upset. Now, the old me would have been taking on that energy, and I kind of felt it a little bit. Don't get me wrong. The emotions are supposed to be in your body for a reason, because the fact it's an indicator. It helps us kind of understand what's going on in our environment, so that obviously it's our protective mechanism. So nothing's wrong with your emotions, which I always thought something was wrong if I did experience it. Now I know not, and I'll explain that in another video too. But with that being said, I did feel it rise a little bit, but then I breathed and I looked at her. I listened to her, and I realized she felt she was giving control away, and she was already in an anxiety-based situation. But then I looked at her also and saw a situation where I myself am trying to learn and grow, and where in my life have I felt like I've lost control? How have I felt like I needed to fight for myself, and how have I did it and voiced myself in a way where maybe I never had my voice before? And trust and believe, I did not have my voice before. So I recognized that. So I did my best to explain. Now, sometimes you got to stop, allow silence to come into the situation. One, for the person to calm down, one, for you to calm down. Reestablish a different way that you can come across to this person, because if you're talking to this person, there's something that you need to say that is of kindness and love and compassion, and quite frankly forgiving, because this person's not trying to attack you. They're trying to deal with the emotions that just raised up in them. So, and you know how that feels with you. You know what it feels like to have your emotions bottled up. So compassion, identify, empathy, that this has happened to me before. I see what this person's going through. Then with that being said, after I took care of the rest of the business, I came back and I explained calmly of what it was one more time in a different way, and also in a visual way as well. So that way she could see me visually being calm, receptive to her, that I'm not upset with her, angry with her, that she did nothing wrong, everything's okay, because her inner child, her inner voice that never got to talk before, is trying to talk to you right now. So you don't want to punish her. You don't want to do anything that makes them feel like they're triggered or doing something wrong. They did nothing wrong. They're trying to use their voice and advocate for themselves. How many times have you tried to advocate for yourself? And how would you have liked somebody else to talk to you? So these are the things that mirror back and forth at you. But more importantly, I saw how I was able to handle the situation without being anxiety ridden, and to breathe and truly assist this woman and assist me in also. Every scenario allows you to heal two people, yourself and another person, but really it's always healing yourself. It's always healing yourself, because God sends us angels in every aspect of us, and we don't know it. So there's yin and yang. Again, there's going to be those positive times, there's going to be those negative times. Those negative times are times of testing. Those negative times is times that you're going to take to do some inner reflection on yourself and see what happened that made you feel you lost control at any point in time, that made you feel like your voice was not being heard, that made you feel anxiety-based, ridden, and fearful. And all you have to do is take your power back and say, you know what? I felt this way as a child. When did my voice get taken away? When did I become fearful and anxiety-based because of the time when my power was taken away and I couldn't voice my concerns, and that I felt something by my control being removed, something bad was going to happen to me? And you need to go back to those scenarios. It could be multiple scenarios, but which is the root cause of it? What was the true scenario of it? And you know, when you think about that, you think you're doing right, you know, and then you find out you're doing something wrong. But were you really doing something wrong, or was it just your parents dealing with things the best they could too, the way they were raised, our ancestral traumas and karmas and teachings, beliefs, patterns, and all that they are passing on to us? And it's time for us to break the cycle. This is just a quick introduction story to me, because I've not shown my face and done my videos yet, but I want you to know what my channel is about. And this was a quick ramble, but something happened today and it inspired me to make a video. And honestly, there's messages, there's lessons I've learned, and it's time to truly share them and show me and all I've learned, and help people while I do it. So my name is Rebecca, and welcome you to my channel, and I'll share more every day with experiences that I've had, and quick thoughts, quick lessons, and see if they resonate with you in your life. But it's time for us to heal. It's time for us to grow, and I want to be assistance with showing you how to do so based off of my own journey, and pray that this also helps you. So thank you for watching. You take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.